excited to see all you guys. Give me a big wave if you can see me. Yes! My name is Cynthia, and I am from Melon Monologues. I am known as this crazy, enthusiastic gardener, and this is my house behind me. This is my garden, and I love gardening so much. I hope you guys like gardening too, and if you don't, I'm gonna teach you how to love gardening. I love flowers, and I love growing food, and all this makes my family happy and people around me happy. Now, I have a secret. Do you know what makes my garden grow so well? Do you know what my secret weapon is? My secret weapon is worms! Some people are totally scared of worms. Are any of you scared of worms? Let me see you shake your head, yes or no. You're scared of worms? Oh, don't be. Oh, good. I got some people that aren't afraid of worms. Well, we are going to talk about why they are my secret weapon. These worms are so incredible. I'm not just talking about any old worms. I am talking about the worms that are drilling and digging and eating and swimming underground to make your plants grow bigger. Okay, you know, technically, I guess people would consider those any old worms, but I think they are the coolest worms out there. And they are in a group called invertebrates. I'm gonna clap it, and I want to hear you guys say it really loud. Follow me, here we go. Invertebrates. Now, does anybody know what invertebrates mean?
I don't really know what they mean.
That's okay, because you all out there are going to learn today what invertebrates mean. Sarah, are you there from Wild Wonders?
Hi guys, I am so excited to be here and teach you guys the difference between an invertebrate and a vertebrate. Now, I work with all different kinds of animals at Wild Wonders. Some of them are invertebrates and some of them are vertebrates. Now, I want everyone to reach behind you, and I want you to feel the bone on your back. Do you feel your backbone, your spine? You feel that? Thumbs up if you feel your spine. I like it. Nicely done. Nice job, guys. That means you are a vertebrate. A vertebrate is an animal that has bones inside their body. An invertebrate doesn't have a backbone. It doesn't have any bones inside of its body. In fact, we're going to go ahead and meet one of my invertebrates. And here he is. I'm going to bring him right up here. You see him? Here, let me turn him to the side. Whoa. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Don't go anywhere. Ta-da! Do you guys see what that is? This is a cockroach. How many of you guys kind of want to step on a cockroach? Maybe just a little bit. Cockroaches are invertebrates. They don't have bones on the inside of their body. Instead, their bones are on the outside. We call it their exoskeleton. This is very important for cockroaches to have the bones on the outside because that's how they protect themselves. This is a hissing cockroach. It is one of the biggest kinds of cockroaches out there. And as their name kind of suggests, they hiss when they get scared. They put air in their exoskeleton. When an animal tries to come and eat them, they hiss. They make a nice hissing sound. Can you guys make a good hissing sound for me? See it. Yeah, very good. Now, what happens with that is it scares the predator enough that it makes him move. Now, is there another animal that might make a hissing sound? Can you think of another animal that makes a hissing sound? Maybe an animal with no legs? Oh, we're getting close. We're getting excited. Yep, you guys are right. I'm going to bring you guys out my snake. And here she is right there. This is a rosy boa. Now, invertebrates don't have any bones. Raise your hand if you think a snake has bones. You think a snake has bones? Oh, some of you guys do. Raise your hand if you don't think a snake has bones. Raise your hand if you have no idea. We're gonna figure it out. Very good, guys. In fact, snakes do have bones. They have almost every bone in their body you have in your body. They're just missing their arms and their legs. Is that crazy to think about? Even though they look like they don't have anything, they're nice and long, and they wiggle around just like Cynthia's worms. They do have bones. So we call snakes vertebrate. So we have invertebrates, no bones. Vertebrates have bones. All right, we have one more. This time, it's a test. If you think my last animal is a vertebrate, you are going to put your finger on your nose. If you think my last animal is an invertebrate, no bones, you're gonna put your finger on your ear. Vertebrate, nose, invertebrate, no bones, on your ear. Let's go ahead and see my last animal. 1, 2, and 3. Kind of cute. All right, let's see. How many of you guys think he has bones? Put your finger on your nose if he has bones. Put your finger on your ear if he's an invertebrate and doesn't have bones. Nicely done, guys. In fact, ferrets and all mammals are vertebrates. They have bones. Do you guys feel the bone in your nose? You guys feel that? Yeah. It's going to help you remember that a vertebrate has bones, like in their nose. An invertebrate doesn't have bones, and they have cartilage, like your ear. You don't have any bones in your ear either. It's called cartilage. Ferrets and all mammals have bones. They are vertebrates. It looks like he doesn't have bones. You want to watch something so cool? Now, my ferret likes to dig underground, just like worms. But he can move and flex and bend all over the place because of his flexible bones. Do you think that makes him pretty strong as he's digging underground? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? What about worms? Worms are invertebrates. They don't have any bones, like your ear. So wait, is a worm as strong as my ferret? What do you think? Thumbs up if you think a worm is as strong as my ferret. Do you think a worm can dig through the ground like a ferret can? You know what? We're gonna go ask Cynthia, and we are going to find out. Cynthia, are you there?
I'm here. I'm just eating me some worms. And maybe not as big of a hole as a ferret, but Sarah, they do dig quite a bit. That was so great. Thank you, Sarah. Everybody, I want you on the count of 3 to give a big thank you to Sarah. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Sarah. I want to talk about my secret weapon in the garden. Worms! Even though worms don't have a backbone, meaning they're an invertebrate, they are still tough. Worms have a crazy hard job, like I said, of mining and drilling and working their way through that tough soil to make it so there is lots of room for your plant's roots to grow deep down into the ground. They do that back-breaking labor all day long. Did you guys get my joke? Back-breaking labor, get it? They don't have a backbone. Count it out with me. Ready? Here we go. Oh, I can't hear you louder. Here we go. Let's start again. Invertebrate. Awesome. All right, I have a question for you, and I want to see a big head shake for yes or a shake for no. Are you ready? How many of you have a pet in your house? Let me see. Shake your head yes. Oh, I see I see some no's and I see some yeses. Okay, I see those no's. Now, here's another question, and I want to see a big head shake for yes or a big shake for no. okay? How many of you have pet worms? Head shake, yes. Oh, am I seeing almost everybody shaking their heads no? Well, can I tell you a secret? Oh, I see one with a head shake, yes. Good job. Yes, keeping those pet worms. Now, do you know that I have over 2,000 pet worms? Oh, I have so many pet worms, you guys, and they are much easier than keeping a fish alive. Trust me. How many of you would like to have a pet worm? Thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. Let me see those thumbs. Thumbs down! What? Good, I like seeing the thumbs up. What about your parents? Would your parents give you a thumbs up for pet worms or a thumbs down? Let me see. Oh, I see them. Yes. Good job, Mom. I like a thumbs up for yes. Thumbs up for yes, right? We're going to convince your parents today and you why you want to keep pet worms. All right. So I have a rule. I have a lot of pets at my house, and my rule is those pets have to earn their keep. They need to be a contributor, meaning they need to help our family in some way. So for example, I have 500,000 pet bees. But I don't know all their names. I can't keep track of them. There's 500,000 of them. But you know what bees are so good at? They buzz around my garden and they wiggle their little bodies inside my flowers and help pollinate all my plants. I get big, beautiful plants. What else they do is come July, they give me lots and lots of honey. Can I see head shakes? Who likes honey? Who eats honey? Let me see. Oh, I have a pet praying mantis. My pet praying mantis, have you guys ever seen a pet praying mantis? Their arms go like this, and they look like they're praying. And when they look like they're praying, they go after awful pests that are growing in my garden. They go, and they grab them and they eat their head off. Have you guys ever seen a praying mantis eat someone's head off? It's kind of gross, but it's really cool. We're going to talk about pet praying mantises and bees at more Venture at Homes. So make sure that you guys register for the next ones, okay? All right, so here's my question. I have pet bees, I have pet praying mantises, and I have pet worms. What do you think pet worms will do to help my garden grow?
They give you, so they eat the food and then it becomes into soil.
Oh, yes. Do you know what we call that? What we call that is compost. Now, compost is organic material that has been broken down into tiny little bits. Organic material is like anything green that comes out of your garden can become organic material. Apples are organic material. And when it is broken down into tiny little bits of compost, it has lots of nutrients. See all that green stuff that I am feeding my worms? What that compost does, or what all those green things does, is it turns all those vitamins, just like you guys get vitamins from eating. So the worms help break it down so that the plants can have all those vitamins and nutrients to grow. Okay, so here's the question. How do worms make compost? You know what they do? They take all that stuff that I feed them and they go, nom 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 nom, and they eat. And then do you know what they do? What those worms do is they poop. And do you know what that poop is? That's my compost. Worm poop, or also known as worm castings, is one of the best compost ever. Are you guys saying, ew, worm poop? Who thinks that's gross? Shake your head yes if you think worm poop is gross. Woo! It's awesome. Let's go look. Here are my worms that I love so much, and I want to show you. Oh, they're kind of hiding right now. Hold on, let's look for them. Oh, see all my worms eating? And look at all that worm poop. Oh, do you know what we call that as gardeners? We call it black gold. Look at them. Look at all those crazy worms. Let's see if we can find some more. Oh, look at them. They're eating that apple. See how they're going for it? Oh, worms and worm poop. Look at all that beautiful worm poop, or what I call black gold, and composting. Look at that big fat worm. Do you see him? Look at him grow. Oh, now I just got worm poop all over my hands. Yeah. What do you guys think? Is worm poop gross? I want to see head shakes for no, because it makes compost. All right, I think it's time for a dance. So this is called the worm, and I want you guys to make all my worms so proud, okay? When you do the worm, you gotta look like an invertebrate. Make sure you don't have a backbone. I want to see some good wiggling. Here we go. Nice and loud. Make those arms wiggle like a worm.
Dance with me.
Pretend that you're drilling in the ground. Whoa! Maybe make your arms go by your side. Now be like a real worm and try to move your whole body. Woo! Oh, I see a few of you not wiggling. Come on. Whoa! Your worms were so awesome! I am so proud of all of you. All right, worm friends, what do you guys think? Give me a wiggle if you think they did the best worm ever. Oh, they're wiggling! They liked it, you guys! They're so impressed with your worm dancing. Let's talk about some wild worms. Wild worms? Oh, I bet you guys probably know these wild worms. Talking about wild worms, or I'm talking what you probably know as earthworms, and you find these guys in your garden just by digging in the ground. Now, they're not going to be as easy as finding worms in my worm bin, but if you dig around, eventually I'm sure you're going to find one. These guys are the ones that are doing all that back-breaking labor. They're the ones that are making it airy for your plants. Now, these worms are not the best for keeping inside. They're not the ones you want to put in your compost bin. These worms are best to keep in the ground because they have so much work to do. Remember all that back-breaking labor without a backbone? All right, sometimes, I'm sure, I want to see a big head nod for yes, okay? If you've seen this. When it rains really hard outside, have you guys seen all the worms come up from the ground? Who's seen that happen? Have you seen lots of worms sometimes when it rains really hard? Oh yeah, I see lots of hands, nods, thumbs up. Yeah, do you know why they do that? Worms have this great, really cool ability where they breathe through their skin. And when the water comes and there's so much rain, it takes all the oxygen out of the soil, and so those little worms are drowning down there, and they have to wiggle their way up to the surface to catch a breath of fresh air. Who knew that worms breathe through their skin. Can I see thumbs up if you knew that? Or thumbs down if you didn't know that? Yeah, worms breathe through their skin. Is that how we breathe? Do we breathe through our skin? I think we're gonna try, okay? So I want everybody with me to take a giant deep breath in, and then I want you to try to breathe out through your skin. Here we go, ready? Deep breath in. Now push it out through your skin. Okay, that didn't work so good. Should we try it again? All right, I want to see you guys try it again. Someone's going to breathe through their skin. Here we go. Okay, deep breath in. Now try to push it out through your skin. Was anybody able to breathe through their skin? Oh no, only worms can do that. And so they come up to the surface, but that's really scary because guess what? Do you know when worms come out, who likes to come and eat them? A bird, right? Oh, poor little worms. So whenever you see them and they're on the cement, go give them a toss back into the soil so that they can get back to their safe home. And this is how you can keep worms in your own house. Okay, first you need a great container. See this container, how it's not clear? Worms like it dark. They don't like to be in the sun and they don't like bright lights. So you want a container that's either plastic or wood, and make sure that you drill some holes. See how I'm pointing out all the holes that I do for ventilation, because remember, they like to breathe, right, through their skin. So we drill some holes. Now, what's really important for worms is making something called bedding. Bedding with composting worms is usually made up of cardboard. I like using old egg cartons, toilet paper rolls, and I just tear them up into tiny bits. And you want a lot more than I'm showing there. And more bedding, the better. The worms actually eat the bedding. After that, go outside and get yourself a scoop of just regular old soil. And make sure to mix it around with your bedding. Okay, worms like it damp, but they don't like it wet. See how I'm tearing that up? Making all tiny little bits. So I'm gonna give it just a little bit of water. Now, you don't want it too dry. You don't want it too wet. You want it just right. See how I'm squeezing that and it kind of makes a ball? Kind of just as soft as a damp sponge. But look at that. Oh, no, too wet. The worms are going to hurt themselves. They don't like breathing. They can't breathe that way. So look, I'm wringing it out. Do not get it too wet. Your worms will run away. Okay, once you've let your bedding, and see where I'm putting my finger up, you kind of want to have a lot of bedding and dirt. And once you have that all together, wait for a couple days, and then you can introduce your worms into their new home. Put a lid on it because they might try to wiggle out. After that, you can start feeding them food. Now, here are some rules with feeding worms. They can eat a lot of things, but there's certain things you don't want to feed them because then it won't make the best compost and it can hurt those little worm bellies. All right, so here are some things that I'm going to tell you. You cannot feed them, and then I want you guys to repeat after me, so not yet. We don't want to feed them meat. You don't want to feed them cooked vegetables because it makes the salt in the compost go up. You don't want to feed them spicy food or dairy. So these are the shall nots of feeding worms. And I want to hear you repeat after me, okay? Here we go. I shall not feed my worms.
Feed
I'm not hearing you guys. Get ready. Meat.
Meat.
I shall not feed my worms.
I shall not feed my
Cooked
my
vegetables
worms.
or fruits.
Cooked vegetables or fruits.
Or spicy food.
Or spicy food.
Okay. I shall not feed them dairy.
I shall not feed them dairy.
And I shall not feed them poison.
I shall not feed them
Did you guys forget? I can hear you. You know that, right? Say, I shall not feed them poison. Good. Okay, now we're going to talk about the shall do's. What you can feed your worms. They love anything green. Grass clippings, greens from the garden, any kind of vegetable, kitchen scraps that you come when you've chopped up your food, like tops of carrots or the bottoms of carrots. These are things worms love. Okay, here we go, everybody. Here are the shall feed my worms. Okay, say, I shall feed my worms. My worms. Okay, say, I shall feed my worms.
I shall feed my worms.
Vegetables. Raw vegetables.
Raw vegetables.
Greens from the garden.
Greens from the garden.
Oh, good, very good. And here's one that people don't know, but it's fantastic for nitrogen. What makes plants big and green is coffee grounds. I know, kind of crazy. Okay, so then after you feed your worms, these worms can eat their weight in compost, of greens a day to make compost. So if you have 1 pound of worms, they can make 1 pound of compost a day. Nom, 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 nom. And then they poop it out and we get compost. Aren't those amazing invertebrates? You are all awesome. And I hope you guys are all now worm fans. Who wants to have worms as pets? Let me see you shake your head, yes. Yeah! Woo! Worms as pets! Worms as pets! We all need some worm poop in our life because your garden's gonna love you for it. Now, that is all the time we have for today. And I just want to give a shout out again and a big loud thank you to Sarah from Wild Wonders. Thank you, Sarah! Heard a couple of you. I want to
Gracias, Sarah!
I have a few things that I want you to do today, okay? First, I want you guys to go out and dig in your garden. Go dig and find a worm. And if you get that worm, I want you to hold it up, say thank you to the worm, and then have someone take a picture of you with your worm and tag us in it, Venture Out Utah. Tag us in Venture Out Utah, and we will post about your crazy worms, okay? And after that, make sure you register for next week because we're gonna talk about my buzzing friends, my bees, all 500,000 of them. Are you guys excited to see that? I'll be dancing with my bees. We'll have a bee dance break. Okay, you guys are the best. Big hug, worm hug. Goodbye.